place you start for is admitting. So you're in a marriage, but you married him because he was rich. Admit it. You own it to yourself, to tell yourself the truth and say, okay, I married because he was rich. Okay, so what do we do from here? Praise God. You married him because you were pregnant. Fine. That's why you married her. Okay, what do we do from here? You married because you were desperate. Okay, what do we do from here? I married as a stupid person. Okay, what do we do from here? Why did you marry? I married out of stupidity. That's fine. I asked someone, I said, why did you marry your wife? He said, I just chose who was around though. He said, I was just of age. I just thought all my friends are getting married. It's now time. I chose one person. He said, it could have been any other person. It was the girlfriend that was there at that time. See, let me tell you something. Once you owe it to yourself to tell yourself the truth, you can fix it. The major healing is going to come. And why? The longer you ignore, the longer you endure. Then the first thing is to admit. The second thing is this. It says, because the word says confess. You cannot confess what you don't recognize. So you must recognize the pain and the feeling. You must recognize what? The pain and the feeling. You must recognize, what pain do I feel? What is the pain? How do I feel? I feel really cheated. When that leader in my school fellowship did that to me, this is what I felt. I felt someone took what God gave to me. I felt cheated. I felt angry. That's exactly the way I felt. When my father stayed away from us, the way I felt was that no one cared for me and no one truly loved me. That was the way I felt. I felt no one cared for me and no one truly loved me. You must be able to say, this is how I feel. Because that is what you confess. You don't just confess, say, Lord, forgive my sins. You know the sin you committed now. So you must recognize. So, and this is the thing, because most of us want to run away from it. You must recognize it. I don't know if you noticed the prayer of David. David was one of the most vulnerable with God. David would say that, oh God, I feel downcasted. Oh God, you have forsaken me. He was able to recognize exactly the way he felt. And you know why? Some of you are married. You'll be surprised that your husband or wife doesn't really know how you feel, because you've not been able to articulate it and tell them, this is how I feel. And you know what? Because human beings are human beings, if you don't articulate how you feel, they cannot fix it. So the second thing is this, because when it's a confess your fault. Because how do you confess what you cannot recognize? You know, just imagine someone comes and say that, Pastor Benga, I'm sorry for what? Everything. It's a difficult thing to forgive. Jacob told his children when they killed the inhabitants of the land, he says, you make me stink amongst the people. He says, you embarrassed me. How do you forgive? Recognize the pain. Recognize the pain, recognize how it makes you feel. Listen to me. You know why that's important? You need to feel to heal. Oh my God. You need to feel to what? To heal. Because the way you know you are healed is that thing you were feeling, you stop feeling it. So if you keep ignoring the feeling, you will not. So you need to tell you know, this is how I feel. In one of the services we were interviewing, and one of the ladies was sharing her experience, and she said, I hate men. And the guy next to her said, But the reason why is that the feelings came out. But when we know what the feeling is and the pain is, we know what will be healed.